Hi, I'm Kristin Messerli, and today I'm really excited to interview Kristy Fercho, who is the president of Flagstar Mortgage. Kristy, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, so I always see your name come up in women's related events, and you're always leading panels. Can you share a little bit about what advice would you give young women who are wanting to promote themselves and reach a higher level of leadership?
Yeah, so the first piece of advice I would give is really, first you have to perform, right? Performance is always the kind of basis to get recognized and to get noticed and to be able to do your job, because as you perform well, then people say, oh, she has potential to do something more, and then opportunities will come your way. The second thing I'd say is then once you get that opportunity, to make the most out of it, right? Identify mentors or sponsors, people who you can really focus and build relationships on, to understand how they got to where they are in their journey and how do you continue to grow and progress in your career, right? Seek advice through those mentors to really help hone and advance your skills. And then the third thing I would say, and this is, a thing that I think a lot of women, we just sit back and struggle with, is really lean into it. When you get those opportunities, be at the table, show up at the table, really be present and be cognizant of, what you're doing. I always, one of the things for my career that I always used to do is before meetings or before town halls, I would actually prepare a question or think about what was the topic of the day and what did I really want to engage on. And when it opened up for the Q&A session, I was always the first one to raise my hand and say, okay, I've got a question. And I became known as the person at the town halls or at the meetings who would always have a question. And so that got me recognized even above and beyond my work. And so people started to call on me, or hey, she's a thinker, she thinks outside of the box, she has questions outside of her realm of responsibility. And that enabled people to see that I had potential to do more.
So good. Yeah, I think it was Sheryl Sandberg who recommended that you always choose, I'm going to be the second or third person or first person to speak up in an open Q&A.
That's right.
But a lot of us hold ourselves back because we want to be perfect before we're speaking up, and that does hold us back quite a bit.
That's right. And the fact is, perfection is a fallacy, right? We're not going to be perfect, but it's good enough, right? To come prepared and be organized, and then put yourself out there, because it's only when you take those risks that then you'll get rewarded for it.
So how are you empowering women in your organization or encouraging women outside of the advice that you gave?
Yeah, so the big thing I like to do with women is really just put them in challenging and different situations, right? With the right network of support around them so that they can be successful. But many times we like to stay in our comfort zone and do the stuff that's easy for us. And so I really encourage women to step out of that comfort zone and to do things that are kind of above and beyond what they might ordinarily do. So the thing I'm working on right now is really so fun. We just did an employee engagement survey for all of mortgage. And I went to my executive assistant and I said, I want you to run this process, the feedback process with all the employees. And she was like, what? Why would you have me do it? And I was like, because you're an employee and I think you have potential and I wanted people to see you differently than just being my admin. So she is leading this process across all 2,500 people in mortgage, leading the work groups, and people are giving her rave feedback, but it's just a great example of pushing people out of their comfort zone and getting people out of the box that sometimes the organization puts them in, and then sometimes we put ourselves in.
Yeah, definitely. That is such a great perspective, both internally and externally, pushing us out of our comfort zones to promote ourselves and challenge ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Kristy, thank you so much for being here. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I appreciate you giving this advice and perspective to our audience.
It's great. Thanks so much.